Well, hello. Welcome into today's edition of Strategies for a Living here on 1017 FM and 710 KEEL. I'm marriage and family therapist David McMillan. What are you doing down there?
I'm just so happy to be here. I'm just shaking my head.
Just making noise, and I thought you didn't retrain her coming back in.
I didn't, and you know what else I didn't do? I didn't point a camera at her, so now the camera's pointed at me, looking at me, smiling like a Cheshire cat. I'll fix that eventually.
And we welcome back. Well, you may not see her, but you can hear her. We welcome back PLPC Carla McCormick.
I'm so darn proud to be here.
You have a good vacation?
I had a great vacation.
Wonderful. Well, we're glad you're back.
Thank you. I missed you guys.
We missed you. And I've got a question for both of you this evening as we begin another week here on Strategies for a Living. Carla, do you take, I don't want to get too personal, but do you take supplements? Do you go to the health food store and buy vitamins and nutrients and stuff like that? Ruben, do you? Do you take some stuff?
There were certain things. I was on the vitamin kick for a while. I'm off of it, and I got to tell you, I felt better when I was on it. I need to get back on it.
Well, do you also take any prescription medication?
A few.
Yeah, and Carla, you?
I do not take any prescription medications.
Okay, so the thing is that a lot of people do. And, in fact, more people are taking supplements than ever before. But what are we doing in terms of mixing? Are there any risky drug-nutrient interactions that could be going on? We're gonna examine that this evening with Dr. Michael Roizen from the Cleveland Clinic, and he is also the chief medical consultant of the Dr. Oz Show.
Oh, wow.
He is with us for the hour this evening, and I don't think we could be talking about anything more important. So, folks, thank you for tuning in to Strategies for Living, and we're brought to you tonight, as we are each and every night, by CADA, the Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse of Northwest Louisiana. Been helping individuals and families now for 60 years, and you don't have to leave home for treatment anymore. Just check out CADA, CADANWLA.org. We're also brought to you by Jerry Anderson State Farm Insurance, by Learning RX, by Highland Place Rehab and Nursing Center, by Jacob's Well, Inspirational Books and Gifts, and by Resilient House. We'll be back talking about drug-nutrient interactions with life strategist Dr. Michael Roizen here on Strategies for Living. If we're talking addiction prevention, education, and treatment in Shreveport-Bossier for 60 years, we're talking about CADA. Let's talk about addiction. Welcome back. Welcome back into 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Welcome back into Strategies for Living, PLPC. Carla McCormick, good to have you back.
Thank you.
And marriage and family therapist David McMillan. You know, collagen. Adding collagen to your morning cup of coffee, to taking a turmeric pill. We're all adding supplements. It seems like never before to our wellness routine. But what are we really doing? Let's welcome to the program now Dr. Michael Roizen, who has more than 40 years experience as a medical doctor. He has been the doctor to 8 Nobel Prize winners and more than 100 Fortune 500 CEOs. He currently serves as the Chief Wellness Officer of the Wellness Institute at the Cleveland Clinic, which is consistently ranked as one of the top 10 hospitals in the United States. He's also the Chief Medical Consultant to the Dr. Oz Show and a best-selling author of 14 books himself, including New York Times bestsellers, a co-founder and originator of the popular RealAge.com website, and host of his own national podcast, You, the Owner's Manual radio show, which airs on Radio MD. And we welcome Dr. Michael Roizen to Strategies for Living. Dr. Roizen, welcome.
It's a privilege to be here. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you so much. I know you are a busy guy. So, we don't really think a whole lot about it. We go into our local health food store. Heck, we may just go into the grocery store or Walmart or wherever and, pick this vitamin, this supplement, and that supplement. And maybe I'm taking a statin drug. Maybe I'm taking something for my allergy. Do we need to think more about this, Dr. Roizen?
Well, in fact, the answer is yes. We set up this interview before the weekend, but over the weekend, an article came out that was relatively, if you will, important in this area. They looked at 551,000 people who took high blood pressure pills,
right,
and looked at what percent were on something that was disturbing the effect of that blood pressure pill one way or the other. And it turned out it was around 20%.
Wow.
So even when we just take one medicine, one blood pressure pill, you've got an awful lot of chance. It turns out most of us, this is actually interesting, the millennials believe, 60% of millennials believe they don't need to tell their doctor or anyone about what supplements they're taking when they go in for a prescription. And it's about 40% of the rest of us. So we don't tell anyone.
Is it because we don't look? Is it because, Dr. Roizen, that when we don't look at, if we buy it at the health food store, it must not be that powerful, that strong? What's going on there, do you think?
Well, I don't think that's the reason. We don't know the reason, in fact. But, my own feeling is that's probably not the reason, because we wouldn't take the pills, if you will. We wouldn't buy the supplements if we didn't think they were, if we, is a double negative, if we didn't think they weren't effective. So we only buy them because we think they're effective, and they do have a lot of long-term benefits. In other words, if you look at a multivitamin in the 10-year study showed no benefit, but in the 20-year studies, people who took it for 20 years had a 25% reduction in cardiovascular disease and 18% reduction in all cancers.
Wow.
Those are huge, and those are intervention studies done by the same group from Harvard that did the studies showing at 10 years there was no effect. So you've got to do, I don't know if you know the Rolling Stones cover in around 2001, the front page was of a guy named Jim Allison, who was, quote, doing the harmonica. He was a PhD in immunology at UC Berkeley,
right,
and was doing the immunology or the immunotherapy blues he was singing. And you say, why was he singing this? Well, they had this great theory that you could, a great hypothesis at that time, that you could defeat cancer by turning on your immune system.
Right.
But every study that had been done on it, which mostly were one-year studies, had proven negative, had proven no value. And he was saying this. He kept persisting. He, in fact, formed a company, and the company was going to go bankrupt anyway, so what the hell, might as well let it go for longer, the study go for longer, because
Right.
that's all the money they had.
Right.
And so 1 year, the results after metastatic melanoma were 13% survival in both the control and the immunotherapy group.
Okay.
But at 3 years, it was 13% still in the immunotherapy group, 3% in the control group. So that
Significant
is longer
difference.
to show
Right.
that this was a benefit. He now believes, and the article in the New York Times this weekend showed, he now believes that 80 to 90% of malignant melanoma will be totally curable with 2 immunotherapy drug combinations plus cancer chemo, plus the normal chemotherapy as initiating things. So we've really learned that it sometimes takes time to show benefits.
Right.
And so that's what happens. So most of us are going to live another 20 years. Even if you're 70, you're more likely to live about another 20 years. So most of us are going to live another 20 years, so we ought to start on some of these. And there are 8 supplements which show a benefit greater than risk in at least 4 studies in humans.
Wow.
And so that's why a lot of us are really taking them. So I don't think the fact that we don't tell docs is due to
that we don't think they work. Yeah. Well,
right. I think it is more that we're either lazy, forgetful, or we don't think they need to know.
Well, I hear you. I'm gonna say personally, I want them to work. But you know, I've also had a doctor before. I won't mention names or anything. A doctor that I consulted a few years ago and said, well, you know, should I be taking this? And I was talking to him about things like vitamin C and extra vitamin C and 1 or 2 others that I was taking at the time. And the doc looked at me and said, well, you can go ahead and do that if you want expensive piss.
Yeah, so that's been the if you will, because you change the color of your urine.
Right.
And because if you take more than the daily value of most multivitamins, you will just urinate it out.
Right. But do you understand that I felt blown off?
There is some truth to that, but it's not very expensive. You know, the extra vitamin C isn't very much. But
right.
What we've learned is that there is a appropriate dose of things. That is, too much, for example, too much folate. Not enough folate, and you increase your risk of breast cancer. Too much folate, and you increase your risk of breast cancer.
So you have to be careful because these are powerful.
There seems to be a proper amount of things.
And that's where I'm going. It's like, how many of us are like me? I'm kind of caught in between a rock and I feel like I'm caught in between a rock and a hard place. I want the supplements and the vitamins that I take to work, but on the other hand, you know, I don't imagine I'm by myself in terms of, I felt blown off by my physician, you know, in that particular conversation. Not all the time. I mean,
I think we're getting better. I'm going to speak for all physicians now. I think we're getting better.
I hope so.
But we still aren't there, and that's essentially why Vitamin Packs or VitaminPacks.com or PersonaNutrition.com got founded. It was saying people want this, and most physicians don't know enough about what supplements are beneficial. They don't know about what the drug interactions between supplements and drugs are. And many of your pharmacists, they know they're very good at drug interactions, but sometimes they don't know about the supplement drug interactions. So that's why we created this large history database and says both what else you need. So, for example, most people on statins feel a decreased energy level and decreased muscle energy. And that's because, we think it's because, there's a 50% decrease in coenzyme Q10 when you take a statin for 3 months.
Right.
So that's the common atorvastatin or rosuvastatin, used to be called Lipitor and Crestor.
Right.
So that's why we advocate, you see ads on TV for coenzyme Q10, take 200 micrograms of that. Well, if you'd gone to me in 2001, 70% of the coenzyme Q10 sold wasn't coenzyme Q10. The good news is the industry has gotten better, and now over 95% of the coenzyme Q10 sold is really coenzyme Q10.
And we're going to take a break here. You just touched on something that again we'll touch on. We'll come back, and you mentioned persona, so we'll come back and talk more about what is persona, leading the way in personalized nutrition. Talking to Dr. Michael Roizen today on Strategies. Stay with us.
I found my mind in a brown paper bag, but then...
If you or someone you love is struggling...
Well, we bring in the grapevine to you this evening. Going right to the source, Dr. Michael Roizen is our life strategist. Welcome back to Strategies for Living here on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Marriage and family therapist David McMillan and PLPC Carla McCormick. And so, Dr. Roizen, you mentioned persona. So many of our listeners may be familiar with vitamin packs, and they have unveiled this new brand, timed to the brand's 1 year anniversary, and they are now Persona. And matter of fact, this happened back in the first part of August. Persona gave 100% of its net sales to Vitamins Angels back on August the 8th. And it's a personalized approach to nutrition, right?
That's exactly right, David. What it does, and I'm chair of its scientific advisory board, so we worked hard to get the evidence-based data in there. And if you go to vitaminpacks.com, which turns you to personanutrition.com, or directly to personanutrition.com, it'll take your history on a web or app, and then that history involves your personal history and your medical history and what drugs you're taking and family history and something about your exercise and food. And then from that, it will help you figure out what supplements there are that can help you. And also, because it has the full database in it of drug-supplement interactions, everything that's known about it, wow, it will determine whether you shouldn't take something,
right? For
example, that you're already taking. And if you want to, you can click on the button and speak to one of the nutritionists, the dietitians, and PhD nutritionists that are there, so that you can find out more specific questions. And there's a large database that they let you search there, so that if you say, I'm taking SAMI, what interactions, what should I watch out for? And, for example, if you're on birth control pills and SAMI, you don't want that because they increase the metabolism of the pill well enough so that you have a much greater chance of getting pregnant.
Oh.
So that's obviously an interaction you don't want.
That's good information to know.
But that's right. So it gives you information that you want. It actually was one of the investment companies that invest in vitamin packs that said, we want to change the name, and that Persona Nutrition is a much better name. Now, I have no idea why they did that, other than they did a series of focus groups and found out that people like Persona Nutrition better than vitamin packs. But anyway, that's the current name is.
A lot of people know Vitamin Pack from they make it so convenient. You get the packs in the delivered to you, and
that's right. And nothing is changing with that.
Right.
David.
You just open the pack and you take your daily supplements. But it
gives you a morning and an afternoon, or if you take it 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, evening dosage, and puts it into a pack for you so you can do it easily.
What could be easier than that? But it begins really with, it's about a 5-minute assessment that you go to the website, and again, you can go to.
That's right. And if you, in truth, David, if you can do it in 5 minutes, you're pretty good at clicking. So I would say plan on 10.
Plan on 10. But at any rate, it's less than a half-hour investment that you might spend going to a nutritional consultant.
Right, and the nutritional consultant on the website is free.
So it's all in the it's all in Persona, and you can find it at personanutrition.com. And go and you can even go get started right when we're before the program is over.
I'm doing it now.
You're doing it right now as we speak.
I'm answering all the questions.
But are there any shoulds here, Dr. Roizen? Are there things that all of us should be taking?
Well, there are
eight.
There are 8 what I call the Fab 8 that are. I give talks about aging, and so for all of us over the age of 50, there are 8 supplements that have much more data positive than negative about their benefits to you. And then there are another 4 where there are enough animal data you say, well, if I really want to, I can do that. But there aren't human data on it. Then there are another couple that are really experimental. So
Right.
of the 8, the ones that are pretty solid are the half of a multivitamin twice a day. Why half twice a day? Because you want a stable level, and you pee out the water-soluble vitamins in about 16 hours. So to keep a stable level, you want half of a multivitamin morning and night.
Okay.
Then most of us don't absorb vitamin D2 or D3. We don't either get the sun benefits from it as well as we did when we were younger, or the absorption through our intestines as well.
Right.
So you want to get your level measured, and you want to try and keep a level between 50 and 80. And so that usually requires between 50 and 65, about 1,000 international units more a day. Between 65 and 75, 2,000. Above 75, it's usually around 5,000 international units a day to keep that level up.
All right. And that's D2 and D3.
Yeah, we don't know whether it should be D2 or D3, so either one is good. And we don't even know whether to measure the D2 or the D3 level for which is the most active. So medicine isn't, we'd love it to be 10 years in the future, but we aren't there yet.
Right.
The third one is a calcium magnesium supplement. You want no more than 600 milligrams of calcium as a supplement, and you want about half of that as magnesium as well. The reason more than 600 increases your risk of prostate cancer, and what's found for prostate is usually found eventually for breast, so you want to keep it at 600. That's actually about right, because the average American gets around 600 milligrams from diet. So the two together are the 1,200 that you need a day to keep your bones strong.
Okay.
You also want to do jumping, if you will, and if you don't mind my deviating. So the best thing to keep your hip and spine bones strong, and your spinal, what we call discs, or the spaces between your spine, well lubricated, that is moist and not breaking or herniating, is in fact to jump. And you want 20 jumps in the morning and 20 jumps in the evening. Now, everything I say tonight, you should check with your own physician first, because most people can still jump. You do jumping with your grandkids with a jump rope or whatever, but it's jumping on a hard surface 20 times morning, 20 times evening.
So jumping on a hard surface as opposed to getting one of those little trampolines or something like that.
Yeah, those are more dangerous for us with less perfect balance. And 2 is they don't jar your bones enough to get them to get thicker.
Okay.
So it's like your muscles. When you weight lift, you want to get tired before the 12th repetition is over, and the reason is that means you've got a little tear in your muscle. The muscle then says, hey, you can't do that to me again, and over the next 2 days build stronger. Well, apparently the same thing works with your bone. When you jar it, it turns on your osteoblasts, which build bone and strengthen your bones, and it keeps your discs better lubricated, so they don't have as great a chance of rupturing, getting, if you will, dry and rupturing out.
Right.
So, I don't know. Oh, we were on calcium and magnesium. Vitamin D, we've gone over half a multivitamin. The next one is that for most of us over the age of 50, and there's a little debate on this, but for most of us, you want to be on a statin drug. And the reason is not only does it lower LDL effectively, but it is a very great anti-inflammatory at decrease, and thus decreases both your risk of cancers and of Alzheimer's and dementia. If you're on that, you also want to be on coenzyme Q10 about 200 milligrams a day, and that because it's fat soluble, you don't need to take more than once a day. So coenzyme Q10, 200 milligrams a day. The Next one is that you want to get DHA, 900 milligrams a day. Now, the studies on fish oil aren't good because most of them use EPA, which is the three omega-3s, ALA, EPA, and DHA. DHA is what you want in the 900 milligram a day dose, and you can get that from salmon twice a week. It's fat soluble, so you only need it twice a week. Or you can get it from ocean trout twice a week, or you can get it from 900 milligrams of a pill every day. So whether you get it in pill or fish form doesn't matter. For those who don't like fish, the pill comes as an algal form, so it's less fishy. But in other words, fish oil is not fish oil is not fish oil. You really want DHA, and you want 900 milligrams a day.
Got it. All
the
right.
next thing is a probiotic. And believe it or not, you say, why would I want a probiotic? Well, we think the diversity of bacteria inside you is a very important signal for how long you're going to live. So you want to have diversity there. And the other component of that is, and this is really kind of weird, if you will, but it builds bone too. So it strengthens your bones. So that's a really important component.
Right.
So a probiotic. Now, those are the basic 8 that you should consider, but I think there are others as well, and we can go into those if you want.
I do, but I want to ask a question before we go to break on probiotics. Are all probiotics created equal? Because there's a lot of them out there, and there's a massive price range out there.
No, and in fact, so that's a very good question, David. Not all probiotics are created equal. You want ones that get past your stomach acid, which means either spore form or as GG. Now, the reason Lactobacillus GG got its name GG is there were 2 scientists whose last names both began with G, but they created it both to be acid insensitive. So bacteria Lactobacillus GG gets past your stomach acid, and then the ones in spore form. And so I have no ownership interest or vested interest in Sustenance, and it is one of those. And so I alternate probiotics. So get Sustenance one day and a Lactobacillus GG, as in Culturelle, the next day, and I alternate those 2. Both of them get absorbed. But you're very right. There's a difference, a great difference in probiotics.
We are learning so much today from Dr. Michael Roizen, and we're learning about vitamins and nutrition drug interactions. We're learning about persona. We'll continue to learn more. Stay with us. Lots more to come with Dr. Michael Roizen today, our life strategist here on Strategies for Living. Be right back.
When your child or grandchild is in trouble,
Doctor, my eyes have seen the
And welcome back. Welcome back into 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Welcome back into Strategies for Living. Marriage and family therapist David McMillan, PLPC. Carla McCormick, you've been quiet down there.
I'm just listening and taking notes.
Dr. Roizen, Dr. Michael Roizen is our life strategist. She's been down there scratching her pen has just been going about 1,000 miles an hour.
I do have a question, Dr. Roizen. You said something about statins. I don't take statins, but is that something that I should consider? Because I thought statins had a lot of side effects.
Well, statins have some side effects in 15% of people. So you're right, that we consider a lot. Most of that is either muscle weakness or muscle pain that goes away when you stop the statin. So we don't want you to continue to take the statin if you have that, but it can be also ameliorated by starting the coenzyme Q10 at the same time. But the benefits of statins are sizable, meaning they decrease your LDL cholesterol, and so for every point decrease in that, you get about a 0.5% decrease in your risk of coronary artery disease till your LDL is below 70. So we like that. But in addition, much more importantly than that, they decrease your risk, they decrease inflammation, and somehow decrease inflammation in the brain such that there's in the studies, and these are epidemiologic, not intervention studies with them, but they decrease the risk of mental dysfunction as we get older by between 30 and 60%.
Wow.
That's such a huge benefit.
It really is.
That most of us say that all of our patients over the age of 50 should consider this. Now, before you go and say, well, wait a second, isn't there a risk of delirium and mental dysfunction? There is. 1 in 15,000 people will get delirium, usually within 2 or 3 months of starting it, but that goes away in every case so far. That goes away on stopping it. So obviously, if you get delirium, you shouldn't continue it. But their real power is because of their anti-inflammation effect that is sizable. And that's why you really want, when you go on a statin, you don't want pravastatin. You want either the two newer ones, atorvastatin or rosuvastatin. Both are generic now, although they're newer. Both are out of patent, so they're, at least in my pharmacy, $3 a month. Actually, they're $3 for 3 months now, and they're really very effective as a anti-inflammatory, and in the epidemiologic studies in decreasing dementia.
Well, the statins are the only of the great 8. That's the only one that I need a prescription for. That's the only one that I have to talk to my doctor about, correct?
Yeah, but you should talk to your doctor about all of them. That's the real point of this, is because of the interactions. Now, you don't take any other medication, so you're one of the lucky ones who doesn't have high blood pressure or high cholesterol or high triglycerides or, if you will, risk of diabetes. So you're really lucky. So talk to your doctor less. The other one I would definitely talk to your doctor about before you did is a baby aspirin morning and night. It has powerful effects as an anti-cancer, decreases breast, colon, prostate, esophageal, liver. It's 11 cancers by between 20 and 40% each.
Wow.
So that it's a really, we don't have anything, if it were patentable and sold for, $150 a month, some drug companies would be selling this like crazy, because you can buy 10,000 baby aspirin for $10. Nobody's pushing it and telling you about it as much as it should be, as its anti-cancer effects.
Why'd you tell her to take a Baby, you must like her better than you like
he
yours.
does.
You told her to take a baby aspirin. You didn't tell me to take a baby aspirin.
I told her to check with her doctor before she did. There is a risk with baby aspirin. It does increase your risk of bleeding. So you shouldn't take it if you do extreme sports. If you go and you're a rollerblader or you go skiing without a helmet on, or you like to do water skiing without helmets, or you do some
He knows you. He knows you,
other
Carla.
activities.
He knows that I wreck my bike often.
He knows you wreck your bike often.
So you shouldn't be taking aspirin in that case unless you're wearing a helmet all the time, et cetera. So, and it's actually interesting the number of people who do get in bike wrecks and live to tell about it.
Yeah. So far, so good.
This persona thing is extremely intriguing because I mean, when you click on the products that are available, there's vitamins, there's herbs, there's minerals, there's supplements, kind of A to Z, if you will, everything from apple pectin to vitamin C to coenzyme Q10 to DHA and on and on and on. It's kind of mind blowing.
So everything that's been shown in studies in humans to have a benefit greater than a risk for at least some condition, and we only obviously advocate for them or tell you about them when they're appropriate to that condition. But in fact, that's exactly right. It's a very evidence-based website, but it's a very comprehensive. That's why we have 650 drug supplement interactions that are known. All of them are there, and by today it's probably 652 because of the blood pressure studies that came out over the weekend. Right.
And so, again, the website, and again, it's personanutrition.com, takes you by the hand.
It's the same one as you said, it's the same one as vitaminpacks.com. They go together now.
Right.
And you can, if you go to personanutrition.com, not only that, they pack all of those you should take in the morning or in the afternoon or in the evening together, so you have a little convenient pack.
How convenient is that? That's great.
Well, I just did it, and it tells me I should be taking, it wants to give me spirulina. What's spirulina going to do for me, Dr. Roizen?
So spirulina is a high potency greens, meaning it has a lot of things that are beneficial for preventing macular degeneration and also preventing joint injury. But it is really it's the best known thing that we have for preventing macular degeneration.
So
the first phase, we have specific other vitamins in what we call the Erin group of vitamins for preventing the progression of type 1 macular degeneration, the dry to the wet. But this prevents the first phase, the dry, which is the largest problem in America.
So, Carla, you take your spirulina and you'll be able to continue to see down here at the other end of the broadcast table.
Yeah, and my tongue will be green. Have you ever tasted spirulina?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it tastes terrible.
It's good for you.
Yeah, I had a spirulina smoothie once, just once.
We'll be back. We'll be back with Dr. Michael Roizen. We're learning so much today. Check out personanutrition.com. Be back in a moment here on Strategies.
I think I'm going to...
Addiction takes a toll Yeah, if I want to keep going and doing the crocodile rock, well, I'm going to have to take my spirulina, I guess, and my my probiotic and my calcium and magnesium, but 600 milligrams a day, right, Dr. Roizen? See, I took notes. Morning
and night, and talk to your doc about a baby aspirin morning and night.
Welcome back into Strategies for Living, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Marriage and family therapist David McMillan, PLPC, Carla McCormick, and learning so much today from Dr. Michael Roizen, who is the Chief Wellness Officer of Wellness Institute at the Cleveland Clinic and also Chief Medical Consultant to the Dr. Oz Show and medical consultant to PersonaNutrition.com. When do you have time to sleep, Dr. Roizen?
Well, you didn't even get the fact that I've written 17 books, of which 4 number 1 New York Times bestsellers and 9 overall bestsellers on the New York Times list. And Dr. Oz and I write a column for 134 newspapers, 356 days of the year.
And a radio show, Owner's Manual radio show on Radio MD.
Right.
Yeah. So you're a busy guy.
But you know, I am a true medical nerd. You know, someone today asked me what I do for fun, and I hated to admit. You know, I don't know if I should admit this, but I read medical articles for fun.
You just admitted it, and I think it's wonderful. We need more like you, Dr. Roizen. What we
It's a little bad when you we have season tickets to the Cavs and to the Browns. With the Browns, you don't even have to pay attention to usually. But the Cavs, I know every one of the timeout routines by game 4 or 5, right? So
there you go.
During the timeouts and all the intermissions, I just read medical journals, which is really bad. I think.
Love it. You get a lot more reading during the Browns games, I presume.
Well, you get to leave. You know.
Yeah,
my
there
wife
you go.
has a rule: we're only there when it's over 50 degrees at the end of the game, or we have a winning season. It's not an and; it's an or.
It's an or. I love it.
We only have had to go to 2 games last year.
I love it. Oh, well, poor Cleveland. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. Okay. In the meantime, folks, check out Persona. It's PersonaNutrition.com. They take you by the hand. You can, get started with the personal assessment. They say it takes 3 to 5 minutes. Dr. Roizen is saying it's going to take a little longer than that, but that's okay because it's convenient and you're going to get the medicine, the nutrition supplements that you need delivered direct to your home. Thank you so much, Dr. Roizen, for the work that you do. Keep up the great work, and thank you for coming and being a great life strategist this evening here on Strategies for Living.
David, my privilege. Thank you, and your co-hosts for making it so easy and so much fun. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. So now we know what to do, and Carla, I expect you to be jumping this evening.
I will be jumping.
Yeah. Give me
drop and give me 20.
Give me 20. No, you don't have to drop. Just jump and give me 20. Folks, thank you for tuning into Strategies for Living. We're brought to you by CADA. By Jerry Anderson State Farm, by Learning RX, by Highland Place Rehab and Nursing Center, by Jacobs Well Inspirational Books and Gifts, and by Resilient House. If today were the last day of your life, you only had one more phone call that you could make, who would you call? What would you say? And why are you waiting? Make the call. For Reuben Wright and for PLPC Carla McCormick and for Dr. Michael Roizen, I'm marriage and family therapist David McMillan. And we'll see you next time here on Strategies for Living.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.